today. Thank you. I'm wishing you all a happy Valentine's from whatever part of the world you're joining us from. All right, this is Entrepreneurs Assembly, proudly powered and brought to you by the Entrepreneurship Village. Yes, and today is a very, very special edition. I'll tell you why very, very shortly, but I want us to basically take advantage of this opportunity and invite as many people as we possibly can. I mean, go to your WhatsApp, your Instagram, all your social media platforms. Make sure you bring someone into the room today. It's the Entrepreneurs Assembly, and as always, it's going to be an absolutely impactful time spent with like-minded entrepreneurs. And of course, we have an amazing guest all the way from the United States who will come today to share from his wealth of wisdom. So yes, I can tell you for a fact it's going to be an amazing, amazing evening well spent today. So make sure you invite as many people as you can, your friends, your brothers, your sisters, whoever it is that you care about, and you do not want them to miss out on all that is going to happen here today. Make sure you let them know that we have started the Entrepreneurs Assembly and we're about to kick off in full force. Once more, thank you all for being here today. My name is Emanuela Daniel. It gives me great pleasure to serve as your moderator for today's assembly. All right, so I'll just hand over to our virtual DJ for a bit, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, so that we can enjoy some more music as we bring more people into the room. And of course, the people who are struggling with their network or one thing or the other can have the opportunity to still catch us as we start the assembly. So back to you, DJ Kid, just 1 or 2 more minutes and then we'll kick off officially. Thank you.
My baby, my Valentine. Can I you to make you what temperature is? If you leave me a good time, I swear. You are like the oxygen I need to survive. I'll be honest. Loving the thought of me, I am so obsessed. I want to chop your own. Never did a mechanic. Open up, make us see. Yeah, my love, one thing. Make a bad man sing.
Pounds and dollars I go spend for your head. Talk all they want, I don't care what they say, cause your matter. Now in my con they carry for my head every night. Now you I want they carry to my bed, oh no no. Don't tell me no no no. You can be my partner, never ride it solo though. And we got no one lucky, no need to party, whoa. I'm feeling what you're doing, oh yeah baby, gotta go, gotta go. Oh, no. Your body they back at me, sweet, oh, open up, make I see, oh. Now you where they got my fancy. When they do me, I get banky, oh no 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 no.
You got me coming. Why should I be coming early in the morning? Oh yeah, shake it, make it send my money. Call me Mr. Bean, I go make you honey. Ay, give me, baby, make you give me. I go show you love and I go take you to my city. Don't need them, make I look pity. You won't make us sing to me before you go see me. Fine girl, you know your body bad. Same body but can make you shake it for Ghana. Here, dancing for me, baby, pan. Come and give me show.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much, DJ Keith. And of course, once more, you're welcome, you're welcome, you're welcome from whatever part of the world you're joining us from. This is the Entrepreneurs Assembly, as I mentioned earlier, proudly powered and brought to you by the Entrepreneurship Village. And my name is Emanuela Daniel. I'm going to be your moderator for today. As I mentioned earlier, it's going to be such an amazing and impactful session. So buckle up, sit back, relax. Of course, you're going to have so much fun here today. And of course, happy Valentine's. As you know, today is Valentine's Day. So on behalf of the Entrepreneurs Assembly, we're sending you so much love from wherever you are right now. I can see so many people representing the color of the day, which is red, of course, same as I am currently. And of course, I just wanted to quickly use the opportunity to quickly scan through my screen just to see some of the amazing faces that we have in the room right now. And of course, if it's convenient for you, you can also turn on your camera so that we can see your lovely faces as we run through the session together. Okay, I can see Mr. Dan. Mr. Dan, hi. Happy Valentine's. Thank you so much for joining, Mr. Dan. You look good as always. All right, I can see Dr. Joy Smart Francis. Hi, Dr. Joy, representing the Valentine's color. You look beautiful. Mr. Benga, thank you so much for joining us. I can see Ademi Yinka as well. Thank you so much for joining us here. I can see Japheth. I can see, oh, our amazing guest. He just turned on his camera and he's looking absolutely splendid. Marcus Benjamin. Thank you all the way from the United States. A big shout out to our guest, Mr. Marcus Benjamin. Of course, we'll be handing over the mic very shortly to you. But before that, once more, thank you all for being here today. I would just love to share a bit more about this amazing organization, which basically brought all of us here together. This community was founded or brought to you by the Entrepreneurs Assembly. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, this particular Entrepreneurs Assembly, today's session is a very important, crucial one for the history of the Entrepreneurs Assembly. The reason I'm saying this is because, as you know, there was a big announcement which was shared 2 days ago, which basically expresses that because of the expansions, the global expansions that we're currently doing, I mean, this has been going on for years and we're getting bigger and bigger every day with more visibility across different parts of the world. It's not a small thing anymore. And of course, to reflect this, it is now being powered by not just Africa's Young Entrepreneurs Organization, but it is now being powered by the Entrepreneurship Village, which is, of course, Africa's Silicon Valley. It's a magnificent thing. It's basically a good news for each and every one of us here. I can see some celebratory pop-ups all over the screen. Yes, thank you so much. We can definitely celebrate. It definitely calls for celebration. This definitely just basically states that we're going to another level, another dimension as an organization, as a community, helping entrepreneurs from different parts of the world. And the goal has been clear. It has been simple right from inception. And we're not backing down anytime soon. We're basically taking the momentum higher and we intend to do much more work. And of course, that's exactly why we're here today as well, which you'll be hearing from our guest speaker very shortly. All right, so I'd like to take this opportunity to also welcome the people who are joining us here for the first time. If you're a first timer here, it is my humble pleasure to welcome you to the Entrepreneurs Assembly. As I always tell everyone who is here, we're like a family here. This is a community where we're always there for you in your times of wins, in your times of sorrows. We're there to hold your hand. I mean, I'm sure you'd agree with me when I say that the journey of entrepreneurship is not an easy one. It's not an easy journey to work on your own. So you can imagine how much easier and how much seamless it will be if you have a community holding your hand throughout the journey. That is what the Entrepreneurs Assembly is there for. To support one organization. Our slogan, much alone. Okay, so I just wanted to confirm if you can hear me. I could see it like a little bit of a glitch. Dr. Joy, please, can you help me on this?
Hi, Emma. So it keeps going off and on, but you're back on now.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you clearly.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Joy. All right, thank you, Mr. Benga. Thank you so much. All right, so yes, in our community, our slogan is basically, if you can achieve this much alone, more can be achieved together. It basically goes to say that if you have been able to achieve all you've been able to achieve by yourself, then you can just imagine how much more you'll be able to achieve with a community. Thank you once again, everyone who is joining us for the first time. If you'd like to be a member
Well, sir, Emmanuel.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, please go ahead, Mr. Gbenga.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Joy. I think Emanuela is having some little network glitches. Well, let's continue with that same energy. I'm so happy to be here. Actually, I was supposed to be taking over from Emanuela, so we are right on point. So once again, I want to welcome us. This is the 228th assembly. Wow, wow! And I, as I'm looking around, I can feel that energy and thunder in the room. And I see our guest speaker, and as you know, it's our year of helping. And today's topic will be looking at the nexus between problem and people and how it ignites possibility. So today's topic is mastering the intersection of problems, people, and possibilities. And just as I said earlier, I can feel the energy and the thunder in the room. Our guest speaker is ready. And to lead us is our guest speaker, Mr. Marcus Benjamin. But before I bring him on, permit me to quickly read his profile. Marcus Benjamin is the CEO of Benjamin Strategic Advisors, which is a strategy and risk management consulting firm with consultants in US and internationally. He's also the founder of TMRW, pronounced tomorrow, a decision infrastructure company focused on how AI-assisted decisions are formed, governed, and reviewed in high-stakes environments. He's an award-winning speaker, an award-winning entrepreneur. His talks focus mainly on strategy, artificial intelligence, entrepreneurship, and future thinking. With an entrepreneur's club. Join me as we welcome a strategic advisor and a veteran management consultant, Mr. Marcus Benjamin. Mr. Marcus, the mic is yours. You're welcome, sir.
Hello. Oh, listen, we got sound effects. I love it. Listen, fantastic. And if I'm coming through really well, just give me a good thumbs up if I'm coming through really well. Fantastic. First of all, give a great big shout out to the leaders of the organization. Thank you guys for the tireless work that you guys have done over the years. And, we followed you guys for a few years on Instagram. And so we've been able to kind of keep up with what has been happening. And we have indeed celebrated what has been happening. Unfortunately, my schedule did not afford itself for me because I was planning to be with you guys last year. And I had two major business transactions that came up that kept me from being there with you guys. But nevertheless, I wouldn't say I'm an expert in what you guys do. I wouldn't say that. But I would say that I have been a very conscientious watcher from the sides. And I applaud what you guys are doing across the world with entrepreneurship, with professionalism, with leadership development, creating a community of resilience, a community of focused thinking and innovation, and we celebrate that. So for all the leaders in your respective designations within the organization, we celebrate that, and we hope to get to know each of you a little bit more after our time today. So that being number one. Secondarily, let me give a shout out to my family just really quickly. I am married. I've been married for 26 years. And I have two children. My son is 25. He's getting his MBA in artificial intelligence from Villanova University in Philadelphia. And my daughter is 23, and she's getting her PhD from the University of Chapel Hill in North Carolina. My wife is a realtor and a therapist. And so we joke and say she helps us find our property, and then I have a free therapist at home as well. So shout out to my family. And really quickly, I do have my timer on, so thank you guys for the time that you've allotted. But let me give you a quick background. I am from an extremely small town in South Carolina, and that small town wasn't exempt from its fair share of extreme economic challenges, difficulties, racism, and a lot of those other variables. But one thing I did learn in my small town, one thing I did learn from my family was the virtue of hard work. My family taught me that if you didn't do anything else, you got up and you got it done. That it didn't matter what was happening in the day, it doesn't matter how bad it was, doesn't matter what excuses you could make up, you get up and you get it done. So my family taught me a hard work ethic and a trust in God. And those two things, although there was much more that I needed to know, those two things gave me a solid foundation in going off to college, going off to grad school, getting advanced degrees and so forth. And we were able to build two very successful consulting companies. One of them was a marketing and a speaking agency, and the other one was a pure consulting company. And so we built two seven-figure consulting companies over a 15-year period, did an amazing job, amazing staff, amazing people. Was it hard? Of course it was. Were there days that I wanted to just throw everything away? More often than not, right? It's like, hey, if you're not doing something big enough that causes you to want to quit about 2 or 3 times a week, then you need to level up your vision, right? You need to level up your vision. So that was a reality, but we were able to do that and we were able to be successful. But unfortunately, COVID dealt a major blow to both of those firms. And the blow that COVID dealt to those firms weren't just in the strategy, it wasn't in the marketing, and it wasn't in the infrastructure. Listen to me very carefully. It was because I was the system. We had great revenue, great clients, great traction. We dealt with companies. I mean, some of our largest clients we had, from a $17 billion firm, a $20 billion firm. We had great clients, great revenue, great traction. But again, I was the system. I was the closer. I was the influencer. It was my personality that pervaded the organization. And so when COVID caused everything to shut down worldwide, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, guess what happened? I got sick. And I got sick, I got COVID, and I was out of my company for 2 years because of that illness. I had kidney failure. I was on dialysis for 10 months. I ended up having a kidney transplant. So when I say it was major, it was major. And thankfully, we had made some solid financial decisions that the last thing that my wife had to think about was how the bills were going to get paid and how the family was going to be taken care of. Thankfully, the thing that she prioritized was making sure that her husband was solid. So she was my caretaker. My kids were off, and my son had just went to undergrad, and he would come back home, checking in on dad. And I'm not going to belabor our conversation with all the details of that story. But the reason why I think that story is important is because it gives a very strong principle of entrepreneurship and business that the system has to be bigger than you. Now, there is a time when you're building something, depending on the phase of your business or the stage of your business, where you are the system. That may be the first 4 to 6 months. It may be the first 6 to 9 months, depending on what kind of company you're building. But there has to come a point in time in your business where you move from you being the system to you leading the systems. And when I was on dialysis, I made a decision. Okay, Marcus, when you come out of this position, when you come out of this situation, guess what needs to happen? You need to focus on building systems. You need to focus on replicating, systematizing, automating as much as you can so that the business can run and operate without you. And so while I was there, that's when I went back to my computer science background from undergrad. And I was participating in some artificial intelligence betas that were being done. And I said, okay, how do I build a consulting company that can sit on top of an AI platform? How do I build a company that I can actually take the infrastructure of what we do and how can I leverage artificial intelligence in order to make this a reality? And so that's what we did initially. That's what we did. And it worked very well and still does work very well from 2023 up until the present. But in the midst of that, we discovered something novel, which I won't go into all of that today, but we discovered something extremely novel regarding artificial intelligence, governance, arbitration, and defensible decisions for high stakes environments. And so we then said, okay, we're going to make sure we move this company forward. So we have the consulting company that does strategic consulting. And then we have the platform company that delivers consulting on an automated fashion at a high level. And then we have this architecture that can actually be integrated into high stakes environments, governments, federal regulatory bodies, financial regulatory bodies, medical, et cetera, et cetera. And so that's what Tomorrow is. So we have Benjamin Strategy Advisors, which is a full-fledged consulting company. And then we have Tomorrow, which is an AI platform company that installs an architecture for defensible high-stakes decisions. Now, I wanted to give you that backdrop because, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know where you are in your stage of business. I don't know whether you're just getting started. I don't know whether you're trying to ramp up. I don't know whether you are moving from ramp up to growth or whether you're going from growth to scale. But it doesn't matter what stage you are in business. It's highly important that we learn how to master the intersection between problems, people, and possibilities. Every business is a business of solving a problem. Every business is a business of solving a problem. Now, you have to determine what quality of problem and what size of problem you want to solve. Now, all problems that pay very well in business aren't necessarily the ones that solve the biggest problems. Let me give you an example. There's one problem that a lot of people have, and it's called beauty. You say, what do you mean by that, Marcus? I mean that all of us are involved in some capacity of doing something to improve our physical makeup. Am I right about it? Whether it's a haircut, whether it's clothes, whether it's shoes, whether it's glasses that we need or that we don't need, et cetera, et cetera. The beauty industry is one of the most lucrative industries in the world and also has some of the highest margins in the world. But no one lives or dies depending on the shade of their makeup or whether their haircut was great or not. No one's life is drastically altered depending on whether I'm wearing a Boss blazer or a jacket or whether I'm just wearing a regular blazer. But the reality of it is, once you put that Boss symbol on a blazer or a jacket, it changes the value of that jacket and that blazer. So all problems don't have the same quantity, quality, or value attached to them. So when I say solving problems, I'm not just talking about trying to tackle, food scarcity or homelessness or access to quality banking infrastructure or cybersecurity. All of those things are important, and those things are problems that need to be addressed through social entrepreneurship, politics, entrepreneurship, and a lot of other variables. I simply want to say that there is no business that exists that doesn't exist in the realm of problems. You are in business to solve a problem. And because you're in business to solve a problem, you have to become extremely comfortable with problems. I want to say that again, that if you're going to succeed long-term in business, you have to become the kind of person that becomes okay in the world of problems. If you're trying to solve all the problems in your business, solve all the problems in your life, and you want to wake up one morning and there are just no problems, then jump out of entrepreneurship as quickly as you can. Just, I mean, literally, resign today. I'm giving you permission to say, hey, Marcus, I bow out. I bow out. Hey, let me go do something else, right? You are an entrepreneur because you are seeking to solve a problem, and you're going to be involved in solving problems for the rest of your business. Now, all problems aren't the same problems, but nevertheless, you're in the business of solving problems. So check this out. If your emotional intelligence is low, it's going to be hard to win in business. EQ, it's going to be, if you have to get your own way all the time, it's going to be hard for you to succeed in business. If you have to be right all the time, it's going to be hard for you to succeed in business. If you don't know how to negotiate win-win situations where you may have to give a little more than you want in order to get something done that's much greater than what you're giving up, then you might as well exit out of entrepreneurship, because entrepreneurship is about negotiation. It's about interaction. It's about finding win-win solutions. And I'm telling you, over my years in business, the first problem that I started off solving was technology and finance. I was a computer science major in undergrad, and then I had a finance minor. So therefore, I understood money, understood commerce, understood economics, and I also understood technology at an above average way. So the companies I was working for, we were integrating technology solutions for financial analytics. That's how I started. That was the problem that we started solving, and we did well. But then over time, I began to see that most of these financial problems were really related to strategic problems. That there are people up here running the organization that are making decisions that are cascading down into the organization that's creating financial friction. But the problem is there's some strategy issues. So the more and more I began to talk with CEOs of small businesses, and then over time, larger businesses, and then larger businesses, I began to find out that most people who were talking about strategy really didn't know strategy. They were planning. They weren't doing strategy. So then it became another problem. So I kept my consultants. Hey, you guys, y'all deal with the financial stuff. Y'all deal with the technology stuff. I'm going to then migrate the company, and I'm going to start dealing with the strategic issues at the C-suite. So therein became another problem. And then the more and more I worked with these CEOs, the more and more I began to find out that most of them were highly competent professionals, but they were low in leadership development. They were highly skilled in a particular area: operations, finance, logistics, supply chain, policy, politics, relationships, but their leadership skills were Were probably a C+. Therein became another problem. So I said, okay, I'm going to now bring in a few other consultants. Now y'all work with strategy. I'm going to then move over here to leadership development, and start working with these CEOs on leadership. Now I'm giving you this trajectory to show you that, guess what? Each stage of the business was a stage of doing solving another problem. If you're going to win in business, just wake up in the morning and say, I am a problem solver. Wake up in the morning and say, this is what I'm supposed to do. So when problems pop off, when stuff doesn't go right, when stuff goes left, when stuff you thought was going to happen didn't happen, trajectory you thought was going to materialize fizzled out, people who said they were going to do something ghosted you, and now you can't find them, the contract's been sent, they haven't signed it, just understand, this is the world I signed up for. I signed up for a world of dealing with problems. And the better you deal with problems, the more creative you are in solving problems, the more comfortable you are in the environment of problems. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Over time, the more money you're going to make. The more people you're going to help. The more valuable you're going to become. They're going to start asking you, hey, can you sit on this board? Hey, can you sit on this board? Can you be on this committee? Can you be on that committee? Hey, I need you to be in this conversation, because people start figuring out this man, this woman is okay in the world of in the world of problems. Let me move to number 2. People. Every single one of us, we're people. And sometimes, guess what? We're the problem. If you're going to deal with problems, you're going to deal with people. because people are intricately connected to problems. People are intricately connected to problems. And guess what, guys? If people don't like you, they're not going to help you. Now, I need you to hear me very clearly. Hear me clearly. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're in. It doesn't matter what culture. It doesn't matter what nationality. It doesn't matter what political regime. Listen to me very carefully. There are some people like, and there are some people don't like. And guess what? There are some people who have characteristics that make them unlikable. And then there's some people who don't like certain people for superficial reasons, such as culture, race, gender, and so forth. So I'm not ignoring those things. I'm simply making a point that if you're an entrepreneur, you're in the world of business, it's going to be important for your long-term success if people like you or not. You cannot win if nobody likes you. I'm just doing a quick pause to make sure we all understood what I said. Likability, L-I-K-E or L-I-K-A-B-I-L-I-T-Y, likability is going to take you further than skill. You know people right now who you are more skilled than, but yet they're further along than you are. You know people right now that you are better than, smarter than, but yet they're further along because guess what? People like them more. When you walk into a room, how likable are you? How approachable are you? How conversational are you? Do you talk about yourself or do you talk about them? Do you ask them questions to discover what they know, what they understand, or are you busy talking about you, your business, your solution, or whatever? Listen to me. People love talking about themselves. So ask them questions about them. There isn't anybody who doesn't like talking about themselves. Hey, how are you dealing with this problem? How are you handling that particular situation? Tell me about how you think about this. Don't talk about your answers. Guess what? Because smart people know this. The quality of the question that you're asking me tells me how much you know about that particular subject. You don't have to tell me how much you know about telecom, technology, fintech, artificial intelligence, whatever it is. If you ask me the right questions, I know you know something about that subject because the quality of question you're asking me tells me your level of intelligence in that area. Listen, if y'all tracking with me, give me a thumbs up. If you ain't tracking with me, you can give me a thumbs down. I'm okay. I promise you I'm gonna be okay. So you've got problems. I see it. Thank you, guys. You got problems and you have people. I want to reiterate it. And if I'm being redundant, please excuse me, but I have to say it. It doesn't matter how smart you are if people don't like you. It doesn't matter how skilled you are if people don't like you. Are you likable? All right. Let me move to the last one. Possibilities. Possibilities. Every problem involves people. And every person, every interaction is an interaction of possibilities or pessimism. Pessimistic people don't win in entrepreneurship. Pessimistic people don't win in professional aspirations. It doesn't matter if it's literal. If it doesn't matter if it's real. It doesn't matter if these are the facts. Pessimistic people don't win. We only celebrate the people worldwide who are what? Possibility thinking, optimistic, even if the situations are what? Grim, if the challenges are real, if the economics of scale are really against us. Pessimistic people don't win. We celebrate Gandhi. We celebrate Mandela. We celebrate Martin Luther King. We celebrate people because in the midst of dire situations, they were what? Possibility thinking. They have possibility thinking. I know it's bad. I know it's challenging. No one wants to do business with someone who's always negative. We have to think about what is the possibility in this? I understand this is a real challenge, a real situation, but what's the possibility here? What have we not thought about yet? What creative solution have we not envisioned yet? Maybe we need to have a think tank and just spend the next 3 days, 3 hours or whatever, just thinking through the possibilities. And in order to do that, it requires a certain kind of person. There's a certain kind of person that masters the intersection between problems, people, and possibilities. And guess what that person is really called? That person is really called an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur isn't just a person that makes money. An entrepreneur isn't just a person that starts a business. An entrepreneur isn't just a person that decides to sell something or use entrepreneurship as their means of livelihood. An entrepreneurship is a person who learns to master the intersection between people, problems, and possibilities. That's what an entrepreneur is. So if you're running away from problems, you're running away from entrepreneurship. If you're running away from people, you're running away from entrepreneurship. If you're running away from possibilities, you're running away from entrepreneurship, and you're left with one or two things. One of them bad, one of them good. What are the two things? You're left with being an employee or an excuse maker. See, there are only three stages in life. There are only three. Either you're going to be an entrepreneur, either you're going to be an employee, or you're going to be an excuse maker. The excuse makers are the ones who sees the problems, but they don't see possibilities. The employee is the person who what? Chooses to hire themselves out to someone who's an entrepreneur. Every person who works a job works for an entrepreneur. So again, nothing wrong with having a job. I mean, I've had a job. Celebrate working. You know, work is glorious. Work is valuable. Work. But if we're talking about entrepreneurship in my last a minute and 30 seconds, if we're talking about mastering this intersection, we're talking about mastering the intersection of people, problems, and possibilities with the skill of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is not a personality trait. It is a skill. It is a learned skill. The same way a person learns to be an excuse maker, the same way a person learns to be an employee, entrepreneurship is a learned skill. And guess what? This environment such as this is where you learn the skill. If your parents were entrepreneurs, you what? Had that tacit knowledge passed on to you. Going to school, learning, you are learning the skill of entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, I had to learn the skill of entrepreneurship. My family were hard workers, but they did not own a business. My family worked hard. My dad woke up in the morning and left at 5 a.m. and he came home at 8:30 or 9 a.m. at night. I saw my dad work hard every single day. But listen to me, working hard doesn't mean you're going to win. Just because you work hard, that doesn't mean you're going to win. It's working hard and working smart so that eventually the systems you build in business work without you. The people you meet and do business with work without you. And the possibilities that you are pursuing, they work for you and not against you. And that is what I have seen occur in my life over the past 23 years of being in entrepreneurship. I have seen it, I have experienced it, and even when I quote unquote lost everything because of COVID and was sick for nearly 2 years, why was I able to rebuild it within less than 2 years? Because I learned the skill. And when you learn the skill, no one can ever take the skill of mastering the intersection of people, possibilities, and problems away from you. No matter your country, no matter your culture, no matter your experiences, you will own that forever, and you will pass that on to your children, to your spouse, and to everybody in your network. Ladies and gentlemen, my timer is telling me my time is up. So thank you guys for listening to me. And I think I've got some Q&A time. I think something along those lines. But thank you guys for giving me the opportunity, and also for locking in and paying attention.
Wow, 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 wow. That's amazing. Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Marcus, for that amazing delivery. Can we give him that entrepreneurs clap once again. Please, let's give him that entrepreneurs clap once again. Thank you so much, Mr. Marcus, once again. And it's feedback time where we be taking some responses from some entrepreneurs. So if you have some questions for Mr. Marcus and or some few things that has actually resonated with you and you would love to share, just raise up your hand using the reaction button. And I've learned a lot today. I can see Daisy hand up. I can see Abike Grace. I can see Mr. Dan. I can see Mr. David Erico. Now, please, let's ensure we put on our cameras. Very, very, very important. So I think I have Mr. Dan, and I think I have Abike Grace also. So please, Daisy, I want you to put on your camera, and as well, Mr. David Erico. But before I call up some of these entrepreneurs, Mr. Marcus, personally, I'm so blessed today. And I know this is a testimony of every entrepreneur on this platform. You said a lot of things. And then one of you that I want to reiterate, you said, we are in the business of solving problems. Wow. We are in the business of solving problems. Now, before I call up people before I take the question, I want us to do something. Please, admin, help us to open up the chat, the chat box. I want us to do something. If we are in the business of solving problems, if you're an entrepreneur here, I want you to define your business in terms of the problem you are solving. Don't define your business in terms of the location. You can be local geographically, but you must be global in expression. Don't allow location to define your business. Define your business in terms of the problem that you are solving. And I'm waiting to see. You never know. You can just define that business, and somebody say, look, this is the problem I actually want to solve. So I want us to go to the chat session. Let us define our business in relative to the problems that we are solving, or the problems that we want to solve. Thank you. As we do that, I can see Abike Grace. I think Abike Grace, your camera is sideways down. Let me say, you're back. So the first person I'm going to be taking is Abike Grace. So Abike Grace, I have asked you to mute your mic. You have 1 minute. Over to you, Abike Grace.
Good evening, everybody. I'm glad to be here again. One thing that really touched me, my network here is very bad, but something really touched me. The speaker said sometimes the problem we need to solve are people. And we have to deal with people who are the problem. That the problem we need to solve are people. And we need to solve this problem. And that for us to solve this problem, we need to be likable. It has to be that we are somebody that people must like if you want to solve problems. So this is what I have actually gained tonight. But I still need the speaker or anybody to shed more light. Because in the fashion industry, the president already told us that your products are cheap because of where you are selling. That if you take it to some places, those people are going to buy with their change, with change. Like it will be cheap to them, and it will be expensive to some people. Now my question is, as a fashion designer, as somebody who owns a fashion clothing company, you know that a lot of people will come to you, they will tell you, this is what I want to pay, and you already have a standard. Now those people will not like you. So in the fashion line, you cannot get everybody to like you. So what do we do so that at least people will like you? Thank you.
No, great perspective. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. There are two things I want to add for context. Number one, when we're talking about likability and activism are not the same thing, because sometimes when you're an activist in a particular environment, you have to irritate people in order to get change. So let's be clear, that's not what we're talking about. That's number one. Number two, in business, when we're talking about likability, your customer, whoever your customer is, they must like what you do enough to exchange value. Now, in a business where the price is bartering or negotiable, you have to have a floor, right? This is the floor of what it costs for me to produce this item. This is the floor of the type of markup that I need to make on that item, whatever it is. And then everything above that can be negotiated. Does that make sense? But you have to also understand, the more you negotiate, the less you can scale, because you can't negotiate every single transaction, because then you would have to either move to like a boutique, like maybe a custom type approach in fashion designing. So now I'm not making money off of volume. I'm making money off of what? The quality I'm providing for, let's say, versus I'm selling 100 items this month, I'm selling 20 items this month, but my price point is like this because I'm negotiating with each person. So it's very important to understand that when you're in business, your customer has to like you in order to what? In order to spend money with you. Your customer's got to like you. But number two, you are building a business, so you're not going to be likable by everybody. You just have to be likable by the majority of your customers.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Marcus, and for all the entrepreneurs here. We are, just as Mr. Marcus mentioned earlier, we are building business. We are not selling ice cream. So when you sell ice cream, everybody likes you. When you're building a business, you are bringing value to the table. Thank you so much, Mr. Marcus. Quickly now, I can see Ifeanyi Chukwu. Please put on your camera. I can see Mr. Dan. I can see Mr. David. Mr. David also, I'm waiting for you to put on your camera. So quickly, I want to move to Mr. Dan. Mr. Dan, you have 1 minute. The mic is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Benga. Before I make the comment to respond to Marcus's incredible presentation, I'm looking at the comments in the chat. I would encourage each of you who respond to Marcus or to Mr. Benga's question to think about what you do this way. I do such and such for this community so they can. To Marcus's point, we're solving problems. If in your description of your business, you don't talk about the problem you're solving and the way you can improve the life of those for whom you're solving that problem, you're missing the point. Marcus, unbelievable, my friend. I come to this assembly every week, if at all possible, and I miss rarely because I always learn something. Often, certainly when Dr. Sumi speaks, I'm inspired. I not only learn, but I'm inspired. Today, I not only learned, I didn't learn anything new, but I saw an encapsulation of what entrepreneurship is about, done in such an effective and meaningful way. Any entrepreneur you know who's trying to build a business, my friends, should see this presentation. Those of us who've built businesses will recognize the validity of it and the incredibly meaningful way that Marcus put it together. So everything you said is spot on. I laughed or smiled because it was spot on, presented in such a meaningful way. I've never heard it expressed the way you've done it. So I commend you with all my heart for the thought that went into this. And I once again encourage every young entrepreneur to make sure you listen to this over and over and over and share it with anyone you know. It was incredible. Marcus, thank you very much.
Wow, thank you so much.
Dan, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dan. And
yes,
I love what you did earlier. Telling people, in the chat box, don't just tell us about the problems that you're solving. Also tell us about the value that you are giving to your client. Thank you so much. Awesome. I can see Ifeanyi Chukwu. So Ifeanyi Chukwu, I'm going to ask you to unmute your mic, and don't forget you have 1 minute. 1 minute. The mic is yours.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you to the speaker. It's been a great time. Straight to my question. I'm someone who is into agriculture. I'm an agribusiness consultant, and I'm also the co-founder. Of Farm Easy. It's a management and market app. And we've been rendering this service for about 3 months now. The app is about 3 months old. But then we are thinking of how we can start affecting the people directly. We don't just want to create an app that just solves problem, helping farmers build structure and system, helping them keep proper records of their activities, of their income and their expenses, helping them have access to market. We also want to have direct impact on the lives of these farmers, because in Africa, in Nigeria, most of the smallholder farmers and medium-scale farmers, they are not well educated and they don't react to agri-tech fast, so they don't adapt to it. So we want to see how we can also impact in their lives. So I don't know if there is any advice that the speaker has for me, Mr. Marcus. Please, I would really appreciate that. Thank you, sir.
Over to you, Mr. Marcus. Okay.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Did you say you want to hold on for a moment, or I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yes. Over to you, Mr. Marcus.
Okay, got it. Yeah, got it. So there are a couple of things. One, I've always encouraged people, you want to get traction in the first thing before you move on to the next thing. So again, I'm not sure what full stage, I think you may have mentioned about 3 months or so. The question is, has 3 months given you enough traction with what you're doing that if you moved on to do something else, does this keep moving at the same pace? So sometimes you can, and again, this may not be your case, but we don't want to be focused on solving too many problems at one time, because our resources are limited, our time is limited, our team is limited. So you want to make sure that whatever the problem is you're solving, you have enough traction built up that it can continue to move while you're focused on the next thing. It's almost like what I mentioned when we were doing financial integration and financial analysis. We had built up about 3 years of traction. So I was then able to move away from that and start focus on strategy, while the team was still able to focus on financial or technology integration and financial analytics. So even though you're seeing these multiple problems surface while you're doing what you're doing, I would just ask, you don't have to answer these questions with me, but I'm saying ask yourself the question, do I have a solid enough team to help me solve that problem and not lose momentum? 2, if I don't, who do I need to recruit on my team that can help me solve that next problem? I think I saw someone here on the app, and again, someone here in the chat that's doing some type of learning education program or some kind of education platform or something like that. I saw something along those lines. So maybe there's some collaboration that can be done, in terms of how do we, maybe you can work on the education side, I can provide the content, I can provide the structure, and you can provide the platform, So I'm just going to simplify it by saying, number one, don't start the next problem until you have traction with your current problem, unless you're going to just change your business model. Number 2, do you have the team in place that can help you reach out to that next problem and begin to focus on solving that problem? If you don't have the team in place, then who do you need to recruit? What people do you need to interact with so that you're not trying to solve too many problems, but yet you're not really gaining traction in any of them?
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Marcus. I think I have Oshowole here, and I have Mr. David. Mr. David, ensure you put on your camera. So quickly, because of our time, I'm going to move on to Doan Oshowole. Oshowole, I've asked you to unmute your mic. You have 30 seconds. The mic is yours.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Oshowole, and I am into the field of hospitality. So I am an employee and also have a brand, my own brand called Doing Hostesses, where I manage ushering jobs and also events. So my question is this: what qualities can a young entrepreneur like me develop in order to attract high-level partnership or clients? Thank you.
Oh, wow. Wow. What kind of personality or attributes needed to attract clients and partnerships and so forth? Man, that is so rich. That is so rich and so many things to say about it, but we don't have time. So let me simplify it by saying this. What I have found out over the course of my years is that it's hard to be ignored when you help somebody solve their problem. So we're talking about creating partnership opportunities, capital or fundraising or what the case may be, somebody who could be key in helping you as a partner or whatever. Find what they're doing, leverage your talent, your skill, your ability to help them get further and help them solve that problem. My partner in business right now, Charlie Williams, raised $500 million, $501 million in 2003. Now, I use him as an example. He was a mentor for 10 years. And I helped him in various things over a 10-year period. Every now and then, hey, Marcus, hey, can you come in and help me on this project? Hey, Marcus, can you come in and help me on this project? And guess what I did it for? I did it for free. I never charged him a dime. I never asked for anything. I just did it. Now, mind you, I could have easily charged him, if I was charging somebody else, 50 grand, 100 grand to do what I was doing. I didn't charge a thing. And then guess what happened? As time passed on, I needed a partner in this global initiative. And I called Charlie on the phone. I said, Charlie, I want to lay this out in front of you. I want to see if this makes business sense to you. And he says, Marcus, not only does it make business sense to me, I want to be a partner in helping you make it happen. It's very hard to be ignored when you use your talent and your skill and your ability to help somebody who you want to be in partnership with solve real problems for them. And my advice to you is to do it for nothing and let that seed speak for itself down the road.
Wow, thank you so much, Mr. Marcus, once again. Wow. Now, it's Valentine's Day, and I want us to show Mr. Marcus the highest number of love, for this spectacular delivery. So, Mr. Marcus, I want you to look at your screen to see how much we appreciate and admire your delivery. So, entrepreneurs from all around the world, let's show Mr. Marcus the highest number of online love ever. So we really appreciate you. It's great having you here. Your delivery was simply first class. Let's put our hands together once again for Mr. Marcus. So we are rounding up now, and I don't feel like leaving, but I just have to leave. I feel like like we are just dining with knowledge, with wisdom, but we have to leave. And before we leave, we're going to, there's this mantra from our creed that we're going to chant together. And Mr. Marcus, you're going to join us to do this. It's our mantra from our membership creed. And it goes like this. It's a call and response mantra. It goes like this. I will say it out. If you can achieve this much alone, and you say it back right at me, how much more can we achieve together? So I'm going to ask some people to unmute. Let's put our hands together like this. This signifies unity, collaboration, synergy. So 1, 2, 3, go. If you can achieve this much alone,
how much
more can we
achieve together?
Then, thank you. Then, Mr. Marcus, there's something, just for 30 seconds, you see, there's something we normally do, every assembly like this, we call it FFA. We want you to give us, on this entrepreneur community, want us to give us a feedback. What's your feedback for this community? What do you have to say concerning this community? I can see Daisy said, I have a quick question. I'm so sorry, Daisy. The time is long gone. Thank you so much. So what's your feedback for us? The feedback, your advice, the A means what advice do you have for us? So we're going to look at, the feedback, the recommendation, and the advice. Don't forget feedback, recommendation, advice in 30 seconds. The mic is yours.
My feedback is that this is an amazing community of people that I had the privilege of speaking to, and you were locked in, and so no distractions, and that's amazing. The recommendation I would have is to see yourself as farmers, as agriculturalists, meaning everything you're doing, you're planting seeds. You're planting seeds, you're planting seeds, you're planting seeds, you're planting seeds. And the advice that I would give is to find a way to keep serving. If the business isn't working, if the money's not coming in, if the traction isn't happening the way that you think it should happen, etc., find a way to keep serving. People who serve will never lose. Jesus said the greatest among you would be what? The servant of all. So you can never lose if you're committed to serving.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Marcos, once again. And can we put our hands together for him? And I want us to, before we go to the dance floor, Mr. Marcos is always our culture here. You know, after each assembly, we just, we rock it together, and we want you to join. But before we go into that, I want to just give us this piece of announcement. You see, there's this Entrepreneurs Assembly Global Community that we have now on WhatsApp. If you have not yet done so to join in, please, admin, help us to share the link in the chat box. Please ensure you join it. Very, very, very important. So, DJ Beats, take us to the dance floor.
You're rocking with the best. This is Africa's Young Entrepreneurs, where African entrepreneurs at home and in the diaspora come together to connect, collaborate, and build strategic partnerships. Join us now.
I'll be days. They be gone about the days that I be searching for a babe. You be my shoe, I be the lace. All of that girls, see them fake. I got you all of my day. Follow me, all of my day. No mind waiting, I say, oh, am I one way late? They want to come between us, baby, then go fail. Yeah, what they mean, I go demonstrate. Baby, 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 I go there for you, I go there, I go say, sweet potato, if you leave me, now go back. Mommy, you no need to make up, you there stay. Baby, 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 I go there for you, I go there, I go
There's
say.
nothing in this world we are not fit to for you. Everything I get, baby, now for two. More that you are going to rub for you. Draw you for my heart tattoo. Oh baby, I do. Even if them say not taboo, I can still choose you. Put your head on my shoulder, make I papa you. Boom, come to Baba, I go answer you. Yeah, oh Susie, baby, Cinderella. Oh, come and stand under my umbrella.
You be tina, I be sugar. I be kiss and make you booga. Bounce for me, kamaruga. Tucheze paranawe. Oh baby love, for you I be ninja soldier maharage. Wali nyama ninja mboga maharage.
DJ Kitty, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Ìkọ̀kọ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn o.
Well, thank you so much. It has been a splendid moment at the Entrepreneurs Assembly.
Ìkọ̀kọ̀ ti ṣe sister DJ Kitty lẹ́yìn o.
Yeah, so Mr. Diligent, we are hearing you directly. So can like to just mute your mic. Thank you so much. So entrepreneurs from across the world, thank you so much. It has been a wonderful weekend.
Yeah.
To have you around. Thank you. The next Saturday, keep rocking it. Once again, happy VAR.